Ladies, we have such a treat, and I am so excited about this. Just to give you a little background information, every year, the If Gathering in Austin chooses an organization to partner with to just shine some light and shed some awareness about problems in our world. And this year, they have chosen International Justice Mission. And I think we found out that Christine Sequenzia Titus was coming about 4 days ago, right?
Exactly.
Yes. So you are in for a treat. She is going to be here to share with you all about what they do. Thank you.
Yeah, well, oh my gosh, let's give it up for this amazing stinking conference, right? Are you guys having fun? Wow. Well, I am just so excited to be here with you today. And if I'm being honest, I'm even more excited to be south of the Mason-Dixon line. Well, I came in from D.C., as Gina said, and I'm a displaced Texan. So up in D.C., I am just missing out on all of these amazing things that the South has to offer. So y'all promise me you won't judge me if you see me eating every piece of barbecue, pecan pie, while I'm here. And I might just say y'all a little too many times than to be publicly acceptable. Is that all right? Okay, great. Well, when I met my husband, who's from the great state of Ohio, so I was schooling him a bit, and I said, you know, Stephen, there's just one thing you need to know about the South, and that is that it's totally publicly acceptable to say y'all twice in one sentence. So let's try it out. Y'all know I have to get y'all's pecan pie recipe before I go back north, right? See, sounds totally normal. Well, anyway, enough of that. So as Gina said, my name is Christine Sequenzia Titus, and I'm living my dream by working at the International Justice Mission. So in a nutshell, IJM is proving that justice for the poor is possible by rescuing victims, restoring survivors, putting perpetrators behind bars, and rebuilding justice systems. Thank you very much. So this year, we are thrilled to be partnered with the If Gathering. And If is just existing to completely equip you guys with the tools and skills you need to live out your call, the call God has for you, anywhere you are. Isn't that exciting? That makes me thrilled. Well, at IJM, we have rescued over 18,000 slaves. These are people like you and me, women who have been trafficked, little girls this tall who have been sold for sex, entire families who have been forced to work 7 days a week in brick factories and rice mills. So, what does all of that mean to you? Well, at the end of session 3, which is happening about right now, I think, one of my colleagues, Anjali, is going to join the stage. Now, Anjali is one of our staffers who works in India. She's going to tell you her story, and then she's going to tell you how today she seeks to find people and bring them to their rightful place in the world. So, after her, you're going to hear from Melissa Russell. Melissa works alongside me in our Washington, D.C. office. She serves as the Senior Vice President to the Global Advancement Team, and she's just a Southern girl like you and me. Melissa also comes from Texas, and she's going to equip you with tangible skills so that you can partner with IJM and join us in rescuing slaves. Who can't get excited about that? Round of applause for that. So let me get a show of hands. Before you came here this weekend, who had ever heard of IJM? Oh, maybe about half of us. That's exciting. I wasn't expecting that. Well, if I'm being honest, anti-trafficking work is new to me. You see, as a first-generation college student, I sought out to equip myself with what I later would find was exactly the wrong kind of influence. I wanted to be important. I wanted to be intelligent. I wanted to make a difference. And so, with my 1992 Ford pickup truck and my little dog Malachi, we set out to Washington, D.C., to an internship in Congress, where I thought my dreams would come true. Well, when I got to Congress, what I found in many areas of politics was self-righteous, self-absorbed, rich kids. And as you can imagine, I didn't sell my truck, so I only had enough money to survive most days. I went on to be a congressional staffer in Congress for 4 years and then on to a lobbyist. But I still found that my ambition was empty. So, like many of us, I sought to fill that void with a relationship. It was a bad relationship. It didn't turn out as my 20-something self had hoped. Nope, it turned out more like him in jail and me with bruises and gashes all over my body. So broken, I went home and started to contemplate what that meant for me and what I was supposed to do next. I wondered why God saved me, and many times I really didn't even care. So at that point, I was pretty lost, but thankfully to my mother, I ended up back in church, and I started to hear God's promises for me all over again. I heard about in Jeremiah 29:11, where it says, "For know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans for a hope and a future." Then I heard in Psalms 82:3-4, God's call for justice, where he asks us to specifically defend the weak and the fatherless, uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed, rescue the weak and the needy, and deliver them from the hands of the wicked. Did you catch that? Was he talking to me? I had to stop and ask myself, what does that mean to me? Well, I began to learn more about God's call for justice. I've learned more about human trafficking and people that were enslaved today. And I was shocked because I thought this was something in the past. But what I found out is that there are more slaves today than any other time in history. So what are we doing about it? That's the question. So I began to ask myself, what should I do about it? And what I realized was that I was scared. I was wondering, was God trying to say that he could use this broken girl who had got it all wrong to help end slavery? What was he saying? So in my brokenness, I realize now that God does miracles. So he brought me to a place of needing him, both physically and spiritually, and then taught me that true influence is only found in serving him and serving his people. Finally, I had an answer. So at IJM, we work in 18 communities around the globe, and we rescue victims of violence and oppression, just like I experienced, and even worse. So what I'm asking you to consider in this moment is if he can use a broken girl like me, he can definitely use you. So I'm really excited for you guys to hear from my colleagues, and I'll be available out at the IJM booth after this if you have any questions. So I would say sit back, relax, and listen to what God has for you, but I have a feeling when Anjali reaches the stage, you're gonna be on the edge of your chairs. Thanks.